Hey guys, so I wanted to add another installment to my SPI curriculum series. This one is all going to be about instructor tether. So the instructor tether is actually a really useful addition to your anchoring system because it allows you to move between all of your anchoring components really seamlessly. For example, if I was converting from a bottom managed system to a top managed system, I can use my instructor tether to get from a top rope belay up to my upper anchor point or back to where my original anchor legs are. And then if I wanted to do the other way, where I was converting from a top managed system to a bottom managed system via some rappelling, after I've maybe lowered my clients down or used a belay to rappel for them, then I can easily rappel down my instructor's tether, convert that to a top rope system, and then rappel on that top rope system. So those are just two examples of where the instructor tether is really nice. There are other advantages too, like if you are working on a belayed rappel or have to do any sort of work on your lower master point, it also provides security in that way. And so talking about my instructor tether, there are a few things to keep in mind. One is what you are tethering off of. So going with tethering off of everything, you want more of an actual full-on anchor that you're hanging your life off of. You don't exactly want to tether off of one piece, unless that one piece is maybe a monolithic anchor, like a big block or a tree or something. So what I have here is a 3-point anchor, and I can use this as the first leg of my anchor going down, which I use for my instructor tether, and then I can have my secondary anchor point, which I use to bring all my pieces together. If I only have more dispersed pieces in my anchor, something like 2 cams over here and then 2 cams 10 feet away, I may want to consider building a Joshua tree setup and then putting my instructor tether off of that master point. More of a 3-in-1 sort of deal with my anchor. But for now, this whole anchor is solid, and so I can hang my whole life off of it. As far as tying off this rope, you can use an overhand, or in keeping with the illustrated text in the SPI manual, I'm going to tie a figure 8 on a bight. There we go. I'll attach that to a locking carabiner. There you go. This is the rest of my static line going into my pile. This is all the static line I'm planning to use for my instructor tether, so I will knot it off. There you go, a good stopper knot so I can't accidentally rappel off the end of it. And I can even throw this down to my end of the cliff right here. And now attaching to my instructor tether, I have a number of different options. So the first option is a Grigri or some other assisted braking device. The biggest advantage of this device is that it does have that brake assist mode. So as I sit down on this anchor, I can rappel into my spot whether I want to build my upper master point or my lower master point. If I ever let go of my brake hand, of course, I'll just lock off the rope with a nice little catastrophe knot right there. And now I can go on with building my setup. This device is really good to use when you're in more steep terrain and you have to get to a more exposed area to build the rest of your anchor, or if you want to rappel all the way to the end and then convert the top managed system to that bottom managed system. So another option of attaching myself to the tether is using a piece of material, either a tied piece or a sewn piece of material like this. And I can do some sort of friction hitch. If I'm doing this sort of application, I actually kind of prefer the prusik hitch, but a climb heist would work just as well. The only one I would kind of avoid is an auto block in this situation because it can be overridden a bit too easily. It's just not quite strong enough. And hook this into my belay loop, and then now I can slide this prusik down and it still provides security. If I need it, I can slide it up and I can lean back on the rope. Obviously these hitches can fail and slip, so I still have that catastrophe knot into the rope, no more about a foot or so away from my hitch right here, so that way if it does fail, I just stop at this catastrophe knot. Some limitations of this material is if you are in a more vertical setting to build your anchor or a more exposed area and you're actually expecting to lower yourself, well, it's impossible to just hold this thing and lower yourself down after your full weight is on it. So this is more of something that I would use if I'm on a more flat plane and then a drop into the actual top rope environment. So that way I can just slide this back and forth. This is also another good thing to have set up or pre-rigged on your on your instructor tether, because if I just leave this here and then I'm moving from base managed system to top rope, I already have my friction hitch here, which I can hook myself into my harness, tie a catastrophe knot right here, and then transition off of that top rope so that way I can move on to my instructor tether. Other materials I may use for this sort of thing could be a single length sling or maybe even a double length sling. This is just a hollow block. That's another, it's totally fine to use a hollow block in this sort of setup. And then if I ever did want to extend it a bit, I could always use my locking quick draw to make that a little bit further. Is that everything I wanted to talk about? I think that's good on instructor tether. All right. You're like, yeah, it's good. So guys, if you have any questions about this sort of setup or instructor tethers in general, please leave a comment and I'll try to get back to those as soon as possible. I know I haven't been too good on my comments lately because I've been working so much, but I do still read them and keep track of them. So there'll come a day when I answer your comment at least. And then if you want to see any more videos, specific SPI skills or any other skills in general involving the outdoors, please leave a comment about that. I'd love to get that. I have a big list right now of videos I'm trying to make. And other than that, if you like the video or my channel in general, please subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Getting to go. Yeah, they don't like flying too much. It's like peekaboo.